setting up. Hanging out, having a Sunday, sharing what's up, what's new. Just having a little hang. Also here at this gallery where may have to refresh it. There should be a video playing, a Bleace video playing. Share, would love to know what you have going on here. We do have some other friends joining in a second. What is up? Happy Sunday.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Well, same thing I do every day. I'm doing some work in my computer, but all good. I opened Twitter and you pop up into my Twitter feed. I think I opened it at the same time that you opened your space, so I saw it pop, and I'm like, oh, let me check it out.
I love to hear that, actually, because I never know if I do show up for people. So it's kind of nice to hear that I am showing up. And we have Colorful in here. She'll be joining us as well. Yeah, working on a Sunday. Same, was getting stuff done before this space, and we'll be doing stuff afterwards. We say Happy Friday, TGIF, but we're still out here working on Sundays and on Saturdays. There's still a lot going on. I guess when you're an artist, there's always something to do. There's always something to do.
Hello. Glad we're back. Second week in a row on a Sunday. Hanging out. I'm actually working from home. Working my full-time job. I don't always get weekends off. But we continue on. We have our job and we have our passion. Sometimes people get to have both in one. But most of us get to have them separately, and that's okay. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm glad we did that last week. That was a nice chat, able to talk about what we're working on, and I'd love to catch up and see what everyone else is working on, because I know it's been a minute since we've spoken to some people, so I definitely like these spaces for a nice catch up.
For sure, yeah. It was a feel-good space, and so I wanted to run it back. And yeah, VJ Deliria, do you have anything coming up? Any events coming up for Halloween? You doing anything for Halloween? You dressing up?
Yeah, I have a couple things going on. Not so much for Halloween. It's more for Day of the Dead, which is a couple days after Halloween. So Day of the Dead, the official days are the 1st and the 2nd of November. And so it's, within this 2023 tradition. On the 1st of November, it's believed that souls from children descend, and then on the 2nd of November, souls from 18 and up, older souls descend, and it's it's such a beautiful tradition from Mexico. So I do a couple things. I'm doing right now a Web3 residency. So we go over the mythology, history, archaeological, and anthropological studies behind Day of the Dead. From Aztec mythology of what they believe happened after you die, and the different underworld places you could go. So anyways, this is a 1 whole month of workshops, and we have guests who come also and do workshops. Tonight we have one guest who is going to do a drawing workshop, and around masks. Last week we did an augmented reality collective mask. So it's like an NFT filter that you can wear in your Zoom calls, your WhatsApp calls, your video calls. You just put it on through an app, and it's like your own augmented reality filter. So, anyways, this is all like a collective experience. And on November 1st is when we celebrate the end of this residency. We do a collective drop. We're going to have a party in the metaverse. And I'm dropping some alpha right now because I haven't posted this anywhere. So I'm letting you guys know to leave you guys the invitation. On November 1st, we're going to have the party in DCL, and it's going to be at Spotty Wi-Fi's land. And we have some really, really good DJs that are going to be performing the nights. And I'm very excited about that. I can't wait to share more this week. And yeah, the invitation is there. November 1st. I think it's going to be on a Wednesday. And yeah, you guys are welcome to come. If you do come, we are going to be dropping some wearables on the dance floor. So yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. And I shared a tweet at the top. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so this is tonight's workshop, and it's completely free. We're gonna have this artist from Colombia who has this background in theater and design for theater, and so she's got this like performative aspect of masks. And we're going to be doing a drawing workshop, and this is all surrounding this topic of masks, which we talked about it in the residency in terms of um, their uses that communities give. Masks not only helped people in the past, when they performed rituals or ceremonies or plays, but it also helps people in the present. We had a guest anthropologist who worked with an indigenous community during COVID times, and this indigenous community created masks that represented COVID. So they created this like collection of masks, and then they integrated those masks into their ceremonies. And for them, it was a way for the community to express, what they were going through. Um, and so this was like, during COVID times. So, you know, we can see this usage of masks not only in our ancestors, um, ceremonies, but also in our present times. So we are exploring that masks concept in the residency, and we invite anyone to come and hang out with us. The workshop is free, and it's just 1 hour of having a good time.
That's so cool. Like I love the idea of like masks, and I know obviously it's like big for Halloween and Dia de los Muertos and all that, but I like the idea of masks just in general. I feel like it's a way to, like you were saying, a way to express yourself differently because you're kind of like hiding your own identity. And since you were saying it was Colombia, I remember going to Santa Fe de Antioquia one time, and we saw, I forgot the name of the actual festival, but we happened to be there the day of this festival where a bunch of people were wearing masks and like celebrating, like doing like a parade on the street. And I guess it was from like past slaves that used to have one day where they could wear masks and kind of dance and sing and like kind of make fun of like their owners and all this stuff. So they continued that process. So I think it's a good way to kind of like mask like your identity, but also be able to celebrate in like a different way that maybe you wouldn't be able to without the mask on. And like in a less deep sense, I wore a mask the other day just to wear a video, and I was like doing things I would not have done without the mask on. So it's just funny, like it's hilarious, like just the impact that that can have, like once you have your face covered. And I think that's why I love Halloween so much. Apart from it just like being like fun, or however like you think of the holiday, if you don't think of it that deeply and you just think of it as like people are just dressing up and just having fun and maybe being something that they would never be able to be on a normal day basis, I love that idea. So yeah, I think that's super interesting and cool that you guys are doing like these workshops, and I just like love what everyone's like working on. Like it's so cool. I saw Kat came through. What's up, Kat?
What up, guys? Happy Sunday. Yeah, no, I love hearing about this kind of like this new stuff that's like happening. And yeah, like I feel like the one place that I've always had fun was the metaverse. So like anything in the metaverse I feel like it's always like taken me aback. Like it's always either been funny or fun, and it's just like a creative expression. I feel like that's the only place where I feel like maybe people have fun because I feel like outside of like that, I feel like there's like just this pressure and like the toxicity or animosity, or I don't know like what it is like outside of that. But I do know that like when you jump into the metaverse, you're like not like really you're like this character, right? And you can run around and experience these things like and yeah, like I've yet to jump in there during spooky season, which I'm going to have to this last week to just kind of check out like say the spooky things they've like kind of put up, because I always look forward to that when it's like seasonal things, like say like Halloween or like Christmas stuff. I feel like the metaverse is like a great place to jump in, and just be a part of like, hey, what's going on and all this stuff. So for me, that's always been really cool to see. And also like with these builds, like a lot of these artists are able to also put their art up, which I think is amazing. I love when these builds actually like showcase other artists and all these things. I feel like it's a nice place. It's an immersive experience where you can just jump in and see all this art. So I think that's really cool. Like for the people who can't say experience, a lot of us probably won't go, to see like a Dia de los Muertos parade or, something. And, these are things that you can experience, I feel like, online and in a virtual setting where, I mean, it's kind of technically the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you can dress up and all these things. So I always love stuff like this when I hear about these events. And yeah, it's just, I'm happy to be here in the spookiest of months. Like, I feel like we started off a little bit rough. October's been kind of crazy. I feel like the vibes have been, all over the place. But I also feel like, you find your footing and you just kind of keep moving forward. Like, I feel like that's all we can really do as like people and, artists in general. Like, sometimes we do feel defeated or unseen or like all these things. But like, we just have to like realize too, it's like, it's not us that is like bad. It's like the socials or the algorithms that like, you know what I mean, that are like against us. So I feel like just finding other artists that like you can vibe with and support each other. I mean, that's where the vibes are at, so I'm just happy to kind of show up and like be around people who their main focus is the art and their expression. And yeah, that's where I've fit in. That's where I've, vibed and been like at my most happiest is when I'm with the artists that, you know what I mean, are really truly passionate about their creations. And you can tell, you know what I mean, because they're not sat here trying to make a quick buck or sell to you or like all this stuff. They're really just really, really passionate about what they're creating. And so I appreciate you, VJ Deliria, for like sharing, your stuff, and everyone in this space really for truly just showing up and just having a good time. So hi guys.
I want to add something to what you're saying about like the metaverse. Yesterday, I was talking to Mr. Big Mouth, who I know that you know. He's a like a DJ in the space, and we were talking about like the stuff that he's done in his sets, and he was telling me that he hasn't emceed before doing these sets in the metaverse, and that's all the stuff he's done, like he would not have done it anywhere else except the metaverse. And I'm like, yo, that's amazing. Like you're actually really good at emceeing you're rapping really, really awesome. Like, I can't believe that you didn't do that before. And he said, I wouldn't even do it outside of the metaverse right now. So the fact that he finds a safe place in the metaverse to like have like an outlet and have one of his talents there, for that space, it like says a lot about how this is a very like the metaverse right now is super experimental. It's a very small space, and as an artist you do have a lot of freedom. Like, you can do whatever the heck you want to at this moment. So I'm so happy that artists like him are finding ways to express themselves, in the metaverse.
Yes, and you can be like the metaverse is whatever you want it to be. Whatever you bring to it, you can be, and it does allow you to just be who you really want to be and express yourself in any way possible. Anything you can think of, anything you want to wear, you know. And it's just so fluid, and the energy and the vibes. I love what you're saying there, because that's what's kept me through this space. Like 2023 for me has been all about the metaverse and working with the baby dolls and Tang Poco and Dollhouse. And yeah, they had Mr. Big Mouth a few weeks ago, and it was really awesome to see his set. And I know he's been doing more metaverse sets, and I've been reaching out to other DJs too, and just I think it's a great way for musicians to connect with others. It's so hard to put on a concert IRL. Like, you can come here, put on a concert from the comfort of your own place and stream it in there. And I just think that's really cool. And just different things you can try. And like, shout out to Gucci Toe too. He's not in here, but we got Poison Peso. We've got some musicians coming in here. Let's go. But yeah, like there's just so many things, and you can have a set, and you can also put the environment around it to enhance that. And that's what I think is just so immersive and just so cool, is that you get that whole environment that you really can't even do IRL. I mean, that would just take a lot, but it's really only like the stage that you see change. But with the metaverse, you can have an entire gallery and a whole vibe that just enhances your set. So yeah, loving the chat here about that, because I'm glad I feel it, and I'm glad to hear others feel that as well.
Yeah, and I just wanted to quickly say before we bring up the rest of the speakers, I just posted up there the United Nations Latin art exhibit, which was put on by Lucia Diaz, but also a bunch of other people like Women in Web3. And yeah, I got to meet like crypto tech women, like a bunch of like people were there, but it didn't really have to be like, very crypto-ish. It was more just about like showing off 100 Latin artists that were a part of the exhibit. And there was live performances, mariachis were there because it was for Hispanic Heritage Month as well. There was meditation, which I talk about in one of my YouTube vlogs. My latest YouTube vlog, I kind of talk about it more, but it was very, very like powerful. And it was just teaching us that the old ways of meditation might not work for the new ways that we're living, because we're living like such a fast-paced life where our brains are constantly consumed by so much different media. So how are we supposed to still meditate in the ways that we used to in the past when that wasn't the case? So I did share the two people that were doing the meditations, and I guess they do it also for the prisons in Los Angeles. So they are bi-coastal, and they've had prisoners that have like terms for life tell them that they feel free after the meditation, which is really insane. So there was just a lot that went down there, but since you guys were talking about the metaverse, like a lot of this was streamed into the metaverse. Bleace streamed it onto Twitch, and also we got to talk to the Meta Betties, which was another event at the same gallery. So there was a lot that was going on in that gallery, but it's called the Campus 3.0, and it's in the Oculus inside the World Trade Center. So they are doing a lot of stuff with Web3. So if you haven't heard of it yet, definitely go give them a follow, because they're giving lots of opportunities for people that maybe never had these opportunities before. And they do have a ton of like digital frames. So I think that there's a lot to be done there. And I just really wanted to talk about those experiences that we had there and the people that we've got to meet. So I think that digital art is still the future, and whether you use the terms metaverse or not, these virtual worlds and these experiences that we're having with other people, even as avatars or whatever, are changing a lot of people's lives in a lot of ways, and this is one of them. Like, me being able to show my photography in different parts of New York City so far would have never happened if it wasn't for these Twitter spaces, if it wasn't for Decentraland, if it wasn't for Spatial, if it wasn't for meeting people virtually. Like, sometimes these opportunities don't just come about just because you're posting your stuff on other socials and people just scroll past. Like, you kind of have to connect with people, and you have to have that community, and you have to like literally talk to people, which is why I'm assuming Bleace wanted to start these spaces again, because for a while it felt like too shilly, but now I feel like we've gotten so far past that part where it's like, okay, we can build connections again and just talk to people like normal again. We're not trying to sell you something, we're just literally trying to talk to you. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there before we started the next journey here with the speakers.
Yeah, it's just about connecting. And yeah, we took a bit of a hiatus. Again, it goes to the talk of just the vibes, and yeah, just wasn't with it. I have not been with it for this past year. I've been very pretty vocal about that. I think as decentralized people, to see a platform get more centralized, unlike any other thing we've ever seen, I couldn't believe that decentralized people were for that, and were for, like, it doesn't matter who it was. It was, consolidation of power of one app. And it blew me away. It kind of made me look at the Web3 space differently, because I'm like, okay, you're advocating for decentralization, but then you're cheering on centralization. Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So are you for change, or are you for keeping the things the same? So it really just, I was kind of just grossed out by it. But yeah, I see one existence hand. What's up, friend? Happy Sunday.
Hello. Good to see each and every one of you. It's been a day or two, especially colorful, which, by the way, I remember the first time I ever met you, very much so, with one of your photos you were presenting at a Wearable Wednesday or an NFT Friday. I can't remember specifically which one, but gosh, that's been a long time ago. But talking about Mr. Big Mouth, God, he was amazing. Talk about a DJ that had used so many Web3 tools in his sets and performances, was just truly amazing, and that also leads to AI and Kat talking about just Halloween the last week of this month. Not only is there Halloween stuff to check out, but the AI World Fair is also taking place starting on the 25th, which I'm excited about. Sophia Verse is in Decentraland and part of that. And I actually got to meet the real Sophia the robot and interview her. Was pretty damn cool. Then talking about DJs or musicians, period, performing in the metaverse, I just wanted to shout out or let people know, if you're familiar with Cheddar Queso, she is diligently working and trying to put together a format of some sort that will assist musicians with tools and the know-how to go about doing this. I know she started with gathering a list of the venues that in Decentraland that host musicians, performers, and then she's also gathering a list of those of said performers. That's about as far as I know where she's at on that, but I think that'll be very useful to many people once that becomes available and is completed. And then, if I may, real quick, slightly change that topic because it's you, Bleace, hosting this space. Again, it revolves around AI, but it also involves writing. So, and I want your feedback. I'd love your feedback and thoughts on this. So, a while back, I accumulated what the elements are that make up a story, such as the point of view it's told from, conflict, setting, characters, of course. And I divvied those specific things up and had some people that wanted to partake, and I gave them different ones. It ended up being mostly characters, but so I created the rest, the setting, and I had a theme, the point of view. And my ultimate goal with all that information was to feed it to AI and have it help me start writing an actual story. I've run into some hiccups. For those of you that have worked with AI and even tried something similar, maybe you'll know that AI is very vague in many respects. So, you tell it you want a story about something happening, and what it'll do basically is say, well, so they went on many adventures and finally arrived at their destination where blah, 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 blah happened. But what happened along the way with all those adventures, it doesn't fill in. So I have found some ways around that. Currently, though, my big issue is, so I looked up what the minimum words are for a chapter in a, because I've told it it's a best-selling author. It's writing the next best-selling novel. About 1,500 words is the minimum for a book, or chapter.
For chapter,
Yes, thank you. Is about the minimum. And the most I can seem to get out of it is 700 words. But it has come a long way. I've got 4 chapters, all of which still need more detail because they are only at the 700 words. And I think if it can add at least another 700, it could get a bit better. So I was just wondering what you thought of that idea, and if you have any thoughts or advice.
Yeah, I would get the book called Story by Robert McKee. I'm actually holding it in my hand right now because once you started talking about that, I just wanted to pull it up. But Story by Robert McKee, I reference it all of the time, and it has been recommended by so many other writers and novelists, but he just breaks it down so well, and it's exactly what you're talking about. And in that book, he answers, I mean, every question you could possibly have about writing a novel and the do's and don'ts. And what he really talks about is, principles, not rules, what story is, archetypes, not stereotypes, thoroughness, not shortcuts, doing the research. And yeah, I've been using AI, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of limitations. The one thing I would say is keep it if you're using ChatGPT, like keep it into one chat, because it will continuously learn. And as you keep inputting this stuff about each character, like it'll know what you're talking about later on, and you don't have to explain as much. But yeah, I think there is a lot of like input that you would have to do for something like that. I think the average I guess I never broke it down by chapter, but the average like novel's around 80,000 words, like 70,000 words total. So yeah, I guess like however the chapters break down. But yeah, that yeah, it's limited, and I think it's getting more update to date. It's like up to 2021, but it can't like go into too many copyrighted things. It can only kind of go off of what's open source. So something like Story, ChatGPT knows Story by Robert McKee and can quote it, you know, vaguely, but it's not going to give you like a chapter by chapter line because that's intellectual property. And there's still, I mean, there's still kind of battles with AI that's going to be continuing on intellectual property. And I see the AI music part of it. I see that there's a new court battle coming about of stealing beats and stuff. So, and voices as well. I know Robert Williams' family is really upset with what AI's done with his voice, and so yeah, I think just I guess like really check, and I think there's some websites to make sure you're not like before you publish of making sure you're not plagiarizing or not like taking, because it could like maybe take a line from something because it's on the internet and it found that. So I guess just be careful with that of like what you're putting out there, because you don't want to be like, oh, I didn't mean to do this, you know, I was using ChatGPT or whatever, and then you get burned, and it's gonna be you because you are the one that published it. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you. A couple of things that I some people told me. Actually, DCL Curations hooked me up. I joined a little meeting he was having with somebody he knows that has written a LLM for actually writing children's books. So I got the opportunity to jump in with them, and he gave me some pointers. In particular, the main thing was the custom instructions, using those, making those very as specific as you can, and he helped me get that written up, so that was a great help. And another person mentioned, so to start, have tell chat GPT a little bit about what the story is, and have it write a outline, just an outline, so that you can break it down. And then I also mentioned this word limit, and again, he mentioned then break it down even more and do an outline by chapter. So I haven't started that part yet. I'm going to, with the DALL-E integration into ChatGPT. I've been having too much fun with pumpkins, and actually having it create pictures of the world where the story takes place and the different characters. And I've shown them to the people who made up the characters, and they've all been very impressed by it. And with one exception, Lovely 17, who's a wonderful builder, she actually she 3D rendered her own version of the character that she gave me. So thank you.
Wow, that's really cool. And I just want to say what's up to Poison Peso. Happy Sunday, friend. What's good?
What's good, y'all? I definitely had to stop by. I couldn't make it all the way last week, but I was listening in. But definitely had to come through. You know what I'm saying? Spread the vibes on Sunday. Shouts out everybody for sure.
And yeah, I wanted to get your take on music performances and how the metaverse can enhance what you're doing. I know you're doing a lot of stuff in spatial, so just wanted to get your take on that as well, because we were talking about it and it was great to see you pop in right as we were having that conversation.
Yeah, facts. Like performing in the metaverse these past few years has definitely like turned up everything, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know what I'm saying, you look at as a career, just going forward with like more IRL opportunities and just different opportunities, you know what I'm saying, stemming from just the creation of, you know what I'm saying, how you would perform in the metaverse. And you know, that goes into, you know what I'm saying, the builders behind the scenes or people that have their opinion, you know what I'm saying, that can help you, you know what I'm saying, while you're doing it. But you see it in like across all metaverses. Like I've been talking about this for the past couple of days with like, as artists, we do have to like get better at performing in these spaces, you know what I'm saying, too. So it's just cool that like everybody can, you know what I'm saying, kind of show each other, the ones who's been here longer, the ones who's been here earlier, or just like artists that's coming in that don't know anything about performing in the metaverse. So yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of little hiccups that you have to learn about, and it's really only by doing it that you can get that experience. Like you can read about it or watch YouTube tutorials, but really, until you're doing it, do you really learn? And so having that guidance of people that have gone through it and know the frustrations of putting on a virtual concert, it is not as easy as just flicking something on. Like there's a lot that can go wrong and will go wrong, and just when you think you've encountered all of the problems, there's another one. and then there's updates, and then there's changes to the platform, and then there's like little things that you've got to keep learning and keep adjusting. And different platforms are all different. You know, there's different things that you can input in spatial that you can't input in DCL or Mona, and vice versa. And yeah, there's a lot to learn. And I feel like that's what's kept my interest about the metaverse, is that there's always something to learn. There's always uh, entertainment value, obviously, but the education value too. So it's really cool. And I see M's popped in here as well. What is up, M? How you doing? Feel free to come up and share. I know baby dolls have a lot coming up as well. And Poison Peso, if you have anything you want to share, I was kind of looking through your Twitter. If you have anything to tweets or something for your space, definitely put it up at the top. And anyone who's a speaker up here, feel free to pop it in, and we can check it out. Like checking out different tweets and see what people have going on. So definitely feel free to share. That's what this is about. It's about sharing, connecting, just having a chat. Here in this art gallery in DCL right now, I see Old Guy just popped in here. I see M just popped in here. It's a cool little art galleries. Speaking of little hiccups, we're having a hiccup with this video. Trying to I rendered out this hour-long video, and we're putting it in this art gallery in DCL, and it's just I don't know. I've tried refreshing, and it's just not popping up for me. And other people are saying they can see it, but I can't see it right now. But yeah, it could be because I have a lot going on. We have a lot on the internet right now. I don't know. But yeah, man. And yeah, I could talk. You got me looking at Story Robert McKee. Like I have referenced this book so much, and just I can't recommend it enough. It really was a profound moment going through this book. And if you're writing a novel or whatever, I think it's worth its weight in gold in writing it, because and writing a book too is a learning process, and going through it. And I would say like breaking it up as much as you can, especially if you only have 700 words of breaking that up into, you know, knowing what your beginning is going to be up into the inciting incident, and know what your inciting incident is going to be, which will transform your story into the second act. And then you've got your resolution, and so your big chunk is going to be that middle part, and fleshing out your characters. And that's the part that people don't realize, is they just see the novel. They don't see everything that's outside of it. Like my book, you know, is about 300 pages, but it could have easily been like 800 pages, because I have backstory on all of my characters, and you have to know that backstory, and you have to know the little subtleties. And Quentin Tarantino is really big on that too, of having, I mean, I can't wait till he says once he's done with 8 movies, he's going into novels. I cannot wait for that, because the man, if you've read his scripts, is such a beautiful fucking writer. And like, he's the one director where if it's on his script, it's going to be in his movie. Like, it is. And he doesn't really let the actors deviate from that script too much. Like, if you read his script, it is going to be verbatim what's in there. He does rarely ever deviates from his script. And he has like full novels on all of his characters outside of what he puts on the page. So he's really big on backstory, and it's like little things of, you know, the Big Mac story in Pulp Fiction. You know, he went through the whole backstory of him going to Europe and stuff. He really goes from like almost like the time that character is born until you see them. Maybe that you don't see that character till he's like 60 years old, but he knows what happened in those 60 years. So there's a lot. And so I would say, if you're using ChatGPT to kind of break it to the character and have a well-rounded character, is easier said than done. I would say easier said than done. And anyone want to talk about anything? I mean, I'm open for it. And I just want to hit on something I didn't hit on last week, of these, you know, basic creative principles as written by Julia Cameron here. Creativity is the natural order of life. Life is energy, pure creative energy. There is an underlying, indwelling creative force infusing all of life, including ourselves. When we open ourselves to our creativity, we open ourselves to the Creator's creativity within us and our lives. We are ourselves creations, and we in turn are meant to continue creativity by being creative ourselves. The refusal to be creative is self-will and is counter to our true nature. We are truly supposed to be creatives. And I see a hand is up. Kat, what's up?
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm mostly going back into, I just find it funny how like AI has its limitations, and of course, like, because it's not perfect, like, you know, and I feel like it does take a lot of like our responsibility to kind of, you know what I mean, see, you know, what works, what doesn't work, and like obviously not, I feel like, abuse it, right? Which I feel like a lot of people, I feel like, in this space, like, just don't care, and I feel like that leaves a bad taste in my mouth, like, as unpopular of opinion it is in like the Web3 space. That's just how I feel about it. But definitely, like, I agree with you, like, as a creative, like, it has to come, I feel like, from the original source, which is like a human being, you know what I mean? And I feel like if you are gonna like play with like the AI, I feel like it also, like, it has to have a piece of you like in it. And I feel like either like typing it in and like not having any revisions to it is like, you know, it's a disservice to like you as an artist, to like what you're, you know, putting out there as well. But also I feel like there's also like, yeah, there's this like digital era, right, that we're like kind of like transcending into. Like, you can see it with like art, like digital art, and even animation, the elevation of animation going basically into like, say, like 2D animation, right, to where it was like really in its simplest forms, like the cartoons we watched growing up, to now you're seeing these 3D like renders of these animated characters that have depth and like shading, and like they look real, and they actually have like textures now to their skin. Like, you can make it look like scaly, or like if they just came out of like the ocean, if they're like a mermaid, like their hair is wet, you know? And so it's just incredible to see that, like, how like obviously technology is powering with like, you know what I mean, our traditional ways of creating art. But I like how certain people are like using the tools to, how do you say, like enhance like their, like say like their original designs, right? Instead of like using it to replace everything all together, because I don't think you can really replace, you know, it can't just do it for you. I keep saying this, like you can't just let these things do it for you, because I don't like your soul is not going to be in it. Like that's my viewpoint on it, like whatever. But yeah, definitely, like we are like transcending into this like digital era, and streaming is not going to go away, obviously. I feel like the internet has like connected a lot of people in I feel like good and bad ways, but like I said, it is people's responsibility to kind of like, you know what I mean, be on the right side of like what they're doing. But yeah, I definitely love the, you know, transcending into this whole like streaming, and like even artists having that ability to share their stuff, right, to like say a collective source online, like say the internet, because it's hard. I feel sometimes, I get it, right? We do have to also understand that we have to pair IRL events with these digital events, because you can't also live like on the internet, like I'm well aware. So I've always also been a fan of like, okay, these IRL events, like this is something I'm gonna have to get into, like seeing your physical art, right, in say a gallery, or like even for a musician, like I feel like a concert, right, like or even like a tour, like when artists are on stage, right, they're most themselves, they're most free. And I feel like the same for like any artist in their true form. Like say an artist in a gallery, they're going to be proud of their work, they're going to be proud of like the art that they're standing around. So I do see the need, obviously, for to have IRL events and to show up, right, as your as your IRL avatar, right, and like being out there in the real world amongst the, you know, our fellow human beings. Because yeah, it sometimes like how we express ourselves gets lost in translation. Like say like how we type things, right, is not always the same of how we say it or how we speak it. So I feel like listening to the artists, like coming from them and hearing them speak is like, yeah, it's like you're getting like the essence, right, of what they're saying, who they are, and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like if you're afraid, uh, so was I. You know, I feel like I'm a super shy person. I've always been incredibly like nervous, anxious, like, and yeah, it's a scary thing. But I feel like the artist's way is like to put yourself out there. It's hard, right? You're gonna get scrutinized, you're gonna be judged, you know, you're gonna have your bad moments, you're gonna, you know, all this is going to happen. I feel like no road is perfect, but I feel like, yeah, those are the first steps of like putting your art out there, putting yourself out there. You know, it's definitely a different era you know, that we're traversing into. And yeah, I feel like it's just gonna, I mean, as unsettling as it may be, but it might just keep like speeding up, you know, even more, like as time goes by, as technology goes by. And yeah, I feel like we're all just trying to catch up and keep up, right, with like everything that's going on. But yeah, I always say like it always definitely goes back to like artists and their responsibility to just kind of like keep their like, I guess, moral compass like always like, you know, pointing, you know, in the right direction. But yeah, no, I just, like I said, I'm always a fan of like the true artist soul, the creative. If you're a passionate artist, I feel like I'm right there with you, because I feel like any artist that is putting their entire soul, their blood, sweat, and tears into what they're doing should be recognized, should be, you know, celebrated, you know, regardless of whether it's like 5 people, regardless if it's, you know, 10 people, you know, 1,000 people. I feel like artists do like to hear, you know, that they're doing great and all this stuff. And that only comes with, like I said, sharing what you're doing and all that stuff. So put yourself out there and just progress, right? And if you feel like you're wasting too much time on like say socials, then yeah, like take a step back and work on your craft. Because I feel like if you're not improving over time, then I mean, honestly, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Because I feel like over time you have to see some kind of progression. I mean, but hey, it's also up to the artist too. If they have a certain skill, a certain style that they want to stay within like their comfort, I mean, it'll come, I feel like, when it comes to you, right? Of where, okay, I need change, I need growth, I need this. But yeah, I feel like listen to yourself, and I feel like what's most important is don't let anybody else also like dictate and decide like what you put out and all this stuff, or steer your creative direction. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of talk, a lot of people like to judge and all this stuff, or change this, change that, and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna take my time. I see the vision. It'll get there. But yeah, it's like just root on those artists that are, you know, they could be struggling, but they're gonna get through it. There's always creative blocks out there, and I feel like we always push through those. So yeah, that's my little 2 cents on the whole like AI thing of just like not abusing it. But
yeah, and we were just seeing Kid Cudi in concert, and he said the same thing. He was like, "It's funny, I put out this album, and at the moment had the lowest sales, and now people love it, and it's just like because he stayed true to himself, and you know, he trusted his vision, and he knew that eventually people will catch on, and that's kind of what happens. You know, people will catch on to what you're doing, even if it feels weird right now or different. And yeah, I love like what you were saying about AI and just not taking, you know, not letting it just dictate everything that you do as an artist. Maybe just using it as like a tool, you know, to make your life a little bit easier and like to enhance your craft. I do know that like with YouTube, like even that, like it took me to be almost 30 years old to feel comfortable even sharing my life, or not even just my life, but picking up my phone or a camera and like being, you know, no makeup, just completely me, vulnerable entirely, and putting that out to the world. That doesn't come easily. That's something that you really have to build, and building that courage is I feel like the first step. And then, you know, finding like who you actually are and your actual intentions is second, because that will reflect naturally with your art, as long as you know who you are and you know what you're putting out. And then AI just comes like, you know, almost last, because yeah, I'll use ChatGPT to try to help me with like tags and keywords and the algorithm stuff, and like I'll even like have it like write me a description, but half the time the description just feels so lame, because you could tell it feels like robotic, and it feels like, what is this trying, like this doesn't feel right, and it's not funny. Like ChatGPT is not funny either, so it's like, no, half the time like it's great if you're using it to try to figure out the algorithm and whatever, but like Bleace was saying, even that's really behind. Like 2021, it's still really behind. But I do like it as like a tool. Like if you already have a book maybe, and you've had these characters envisioned in your head, but you're not an illustrator, and you try to get an illustrator but they're not understanding exactly what you want, you can very specifically put that, you know, and see what AI comes up with, and then maybe be like, oh, okay, this is kind of like, yeah, what I had envisioned in my head. So something like that definitely works. But yeah, I agree with you entirely. And yeah, Existential, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, yeah. Something Kat said. I had just about the characters. I posted up above a couple of the renders that ChatGPT did for me for two of the main characters of the story. If you want to check them out, they came out way cool and colorful. And VJ, be on the watch of your notifications. I sent you guys a pumpkin that I've been playing around with ChatGPT.
We love a good pumpkin. We love a nice pumpkin. And yeah, I think for myself, like using AI has felt like I am having little members of my team, like as someone who does a lot, you know, on my own, that I'm getting some help, but to just put out that image for myself, I wouldn't do. But I like to manipulate the image. I like to bring it into Photoshop, After Effects, and stuff, and play with it, and then make animations from it. It's been a huge help, and for other things too, it's kind of like given some perspective. Like you can put in something and like get like a different perspective from ChatGPT. There's there's a lot that you can put in like a paragraph and say like, analyze this from the perspective of a Harvard professor on literature, and give me feedback, or coach me from the perspective of such and such. And there's a lot of different prompts that you can do to enhance what you're doing. And for me, it's been like, yes, like, because I feel like I'm always bothering people if I ask for that kind of stuff. So to be able to do that and have it at hand. And recently, I've been diving into AI music and composing music, as that has been a huge missing factor in my animations, is having original music. And so going about that and learning how to compose music, I don't know anything about music. Like, I don't know any of the verbiage. I don't know any. I couldn't. I couldn't tell you what's the difference between an eighth note, 16th note, whatever it is. I don't know the difference between a B minor and D minor or whatever. And so it was like a crash course for myself of learning music. And the recent video I just put together is an 8-hour video for dog separation anxiety, and that is going to be played for my own dog whenever I leave. I've been playing music, and I'm like, why don't I create my own? I've been playing other people's, so I might as well just play my own. And so I put together this and got some songs that could work for it, and also putting together some meditation music with these animations, and using AI voice too. And it kind of goes to what One Existence was talking about writing. So I've been putting characters together, and I have some ongoing stories here, and using AI voice together with some of these images that I'm making, and making these characters. And I've got some stories that I'm going to be putting out on YouTube. And it's kind of like a storyboard with images and voices, and not going too much in it. It's kind of like a foundation for like a future animated film, but you got to start somewhere, and kind of hoping that others can see the vision of it. And because I've learned this, and this is another hands-on learning, was the audiobook, and realizing how straining it is on the voice to try to do this like myself. Like, my voice wouldn't be able to do it. And so having AI voice where you can even put your voice in it and it can mimic it. I haven't done that. I've been really just focused on the different characters, but it's really bringing to life some of this writing in a way that wasn't possible. And to hire a voice actor is very expensive. And so to have this new technology is really, really helping bring to life some ideas, and some ideas that I've had for a while. And so it's just another tool in the arsenal. It's like writing an email. It's learning Photoshop. It's learning After Effects. It's learning different Procreate, whatever it is. It's just another tool you have to learn, and there's different prompts you have to learn as well. And here's a little quote. Okay, this is what I want these Sunday spaces to be, right? Sharing energy, sharing things that I have as well. And I just want to share this. This is from the book Brainstorm, Unleashing Your Creative Self, written by Don Hahn, who is the producer of The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie of all time. So, what do you live for? Every man dies. Not every man really lives. Now that the labels are off, who exactly are you? What are you good at? What do you love to do? What is your fatal flaw? What is your flame, your torch, your favorite condiment? What will What will be your creative gift to the world? Look carefully. The answer doesn't lie in what your dad or mom wanted you to do, nor in what your partner wants you to do, but in what you want to do. And remember, we are not talking about your career or job, but your life. In searching for your own personal gift, don't feel as if you are limited to an occupation. Here's an example. Even though I hate to quantify creative achievement, every March I don my tuxedo, go to the Academy Awards ceremony in Hollywood, and celebrate my hypocrisy. There, amid the cummerbunds and cleavage, I see my old friend from college, Dave. Dave valet parks cars for a living. He works for the company that parks your car on Oscar night. Dave also happens to be a world-class organ player, pipe organ, big wonderful pipes and pedals with stacks and stacks of keyboards. He is gifted at and passionate about playing the organ. Dave also runs a valet parking service. The point is, Dave lives to play the organ, not to park your Lexus. What do you live for? Only you can decide. Do you want to direct a movie? Do you want buns of steel? That small voice inside of you that gravitates towards cooking or poetry, finance or beaver husbandry is the very thing that makes you unique. Take the limitations away. Take the labels off and pick your passion. Sometimes it helps to imagine what your view will be like from the end of your life. What will it feel like looking back over the years? What will your proudest accomplishments be? Raising children, creating a business, writing poems? What will be your biggest regret? Never learning to play piano? Not traveling to Rome? Never learning to fly fish, write, or cook a turkey? Now, back up from the end of your life to today. It doesn't matter if you are 85 or 25. You have one thing on your side. You are alive. With the remainder of your life, you have the complete control you need to move some things from the regret column to the accomplishment column. Pursue your happiness. When you finally choose your muse, you may struggle with the feeling that your chosen field is insignificant or has little value. We create in a world that tells us that all things are not equal. It's a world that seems to reward success in a big public way. A world that likes to keep score on achievement. Your house, your car, your education, your clothes, your job, all scream out loud about you and where you fit in the hierarchy of society. We organize creative achievements in the same type of hierarchy, in which we rank some things as being of more importance than others. But what if creativity had no hierarchy? There is an impulsive desire in all of us to quantify creative achievement, to attach a value to a person's gift. For example, we generally feel that actors and film directors are more creative than salespeople or body shop owners. We like to rank celebrity chefs as more creative than financial executives. But on a fundamental level, there is a great value and nobility in all creative processes. The Mona Lisa has value, and so does the painting of those dogs playing poker. An episode of 60 Minutes and an episode of South Park both have value. You may prefer one or the other, but you can't presuppose that one has value and one doesn't. Each grows from culture. Each contributes to culture. Each reflects and in a way defines culture. We all struggle with thoughts that our work may not have lasting value or social relevance. Let's face it, most of what we do probably doesn't have a great deal of social relevance. That knowledge can become an obstacle to feeling satisfied with your own work, but it shouldn't. As much as we may want others to love and validate us, and as much as we want to have a lasting impact on our world, no one has figured out a way to statistically show what impact you will have on the universe. You have to take the leap of faith that your work is indeed important and will affect the world in unknowable ways. What do we live for then? We live for the journey. Every act in your life has relevance to that journey. And both the greatest moments of joy and the deepest personal failures will define who we are and where we've traveled. And that I will leave you with. I appreciate everyone joining this space and sharing what they have going on. That's what this is about. Keep it short and sweet here, and all are welcome to share. Appreciate everyone coming through and sharing. And we'll leave it up to you guys to say any last words before I close it out.
Be safe, be well, be you.
Colorful, I don't know. You in Rugland. I don't know. You in the abyss. You're added as speaker, but I don't know. And Kat, always appreciate hearing your voice. One Existence, appreciate you coming through. VJ Deliria, Poison Peso, Lonnie in here. We got Lonnie Lou, and we got Louie, we got M. I want to shout out Tang Poco out here. We've got some friends in DCL all hanging out. We got the video playing of the guided meditation finally working. This gallery is really cool, and this video fits perfectly in this art gallery here in Decentraland. Definitely come check it out. It's going to be on loop 24 hours a day here. We'll be doing some more stuff in this little art gallery here, and be updating some of the artworks on the wall. Yeah, Kat.
Yeah, I love that William Yeats line that says, "But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I've spread my dreams under your feet. So tread softly because you tread on my dreams." That line hits every time. Because if you don't have anything in this world, you have your dreams. And if someone wants to sit here and shit on your fucking dreams, let me tell you this much, fuck them. Because it's your dream. It's your fucking dream. And if you're living it, hey, that's all that matters. All right? Is your happiness. Let's get it.
All right, I was in Rugland. I had to go down to the basement to do laundry, so that's where I was at. Because real life, the never-ending story, the real never-ending story, laundry and dishes, gotta get done.
The actual nightmare.
Yeah, the actual nightmare. But I'm gonna be living my dream one day. Someone's gonna be doing that for me, and I'm gonna have a personal chef and a personal driver, and we're gonna be out here living lavish, and I'll invite y'all when that happens. So.
The AI robot. I've been waiting for them to do my laundry.
Yeah, if they can also edit all my videos and post them and post all my content, because that'd be great. I don't mind shooting the content and shooting photography and doing all that, but if they could do the rest, that'd be great. Always be nice to AI. That's all I'm going to say. Just be nice, because we're not going to build a new earth and a new future if we continue on the same exact values that we've been going on for however long.
Yeah, Sophia the robot, the homegirl. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, she's
the bestie.
a homie. Even though she's too good for us now, she's out here world traveling and going to all these events. She don't hang out with us anymore, but we love you, Sophia.
I'm trying to get that interview I did with her out today. There was a lot of background noise that I can't really get away from, but you can't hear me, but you can hear her talk anyway. So I'm gonna roll that out. And there was something else, but shoot, I don't remember.
I want to shout out Meta Mike and Meeple Gang, Meep. I know they're doing stuff with the music festival coming up, DCL Music Festival. Tang is as well. So, and I know it's AI based stuff, so that'll continue that conversation. We'll look to get them in here next weekend. I know they have a lot going on in Monaverse, the doll factory, starting the 24th. So check that out. There's going to be daily prizes. And it's a little gamification in the metaverse, which I'm also loving. as well as the gamification and playing and earning wearables and points and leaderboards and stuff. So it's a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, appreciate everybody, and yeah, I'll probably do this again next week, next Sunday. This is great. It's a really feel good space, and I hope others are feeling the energy, and hope you have a great week.
If you happen to be in New York next weekend from this group here, my B-Day weekend, I got some cooking up, so let me know.
It's going down next weekend. I was just told all the costumes that I am going to be wearing, and it's said to me like I just don't even have a choice. I don't have a choice. I am just there. I'm like a
She's
doll.
Barbie. She's Barbie. He's just Ken. We get it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be dressed up. So yeah, I've got some costumes, and yeah, stay tuned on that. All right, till next time, peeps. Appreciate you. Much love. Take care.
Twitch. Appreciate everyone tuning in. What is up? Let me come on cam real quick. Appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging out. I'm loving this guided meditation here in this gallery. This is great. Shout out Tang. We've got Biomed out here. M, Sultry, Dubs. But yeah, these are real feel good spaces, and loving them. Appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging out on stream as well. A lot of fun. And we'll definitely look to do this next Sunday. So if you want to be a part of it, hit me up. And follow on Twitter at Bleace Art on all socials now. But loving this here. And we'll be able to swap these out, swap these different videos out. And we'll be keeping this up to date. But I'm loving how this looks in here. I'm loving it. I was doing the old yoga pose here. I could do a little record here. I love this gallery though. This gallery is so cool. Que pasa, que la pasa? Why isn't... Streamlabs. Why isn't Decentraland coming up as a window? I had it set to that. The hell? Whatever, I got it here. One existence. Add you as a friend. Let's go. Surprised we aren't friends already. You never know. Alright. Get the yoga pose. Loving this. Loving it. It's so good. It works so well. We got some friends in here. We got Derek. Let's go. So cool. Fits perfectly. Mwah. Amazing. Amazing. So good. Okay. I hope I got it. Why is it doing this, man? Of course, when I'm trying to do this on stream. Whoa, we getting
I'm just Bleace.
yeah, I'm getting a surprise appearance by Colorful here. I'm trying to record this, but you see this? You see?
I got my
Were you seeing this?
Scorpio sweater on. It's Scorpio season tomorrow. My birthday's coming up.
Scorpio season.
Ooh. My hair looking like a hot mess.
Look
'cause I'm
out,
doing
world.
Laundry,
Look
real
out.
life stuff. But next week,
Next week the glow up's gonna be
the
real.
glow up is gonna be too real. You guys won't even recognize me. You guys won't even recognize.
Be
Colorful.
prepared right now to be sick of me.
The bangs are back.
Oh, we got Gaia here
Right
now.
now, but the bangs are back. Don't worry, we're not actually doing Barbie and Ken. Don't worry, guys. There'll be plenty of those out though.
These colors are just.
That's so cool.
There's so many friends out here. You got the
Oh,
hula hoop.
You hula hooping out there. Oh, you swinging them hips. Oh.
Oh, we got Jim Cedric out here too. Shout out Jim Cedric.
Swinging them hips back and forth. Let's see who's up there with the freaking bow and arrow ready to throw down.
Bow and arrow.
What is going on up there?
It's biometa up there.
I'm a little blind, so I can't see what's happening. It looks like something like that. Like that they're holding up almost.
Oh, over here?
Yeah.
Oh, I think she's just holding the yoga pose.
Oh, is that what's happening?
That's sultry dubs.
Oh, that's giving. Oh, I know what that is. Hold on, I've done that pose. I can't remember what it's called though, but yeah. Okay, I see it now.
Doing yoga poses
Yeah.
out here. We're doing meditations. We're doing yoga poses.
We got the bartender, you know.
The bartender.
Making some moves. If you don't follow Bleace on TikTok, go check out his T-Pain meme.
The best thing I've ever
Kevin
posted.
James / T-Pain meme.
Apparently, the best thing I've ever posted.
It was a hit. It was definitely a hit.
Slapped. But I have an artist date with my inner artist child that I have to go on, and I can't be late for that. I can't neglect that. But yeah. Till next time, peeps. I appreciate everyone tuning in.
Peace out, peeps.
This was real. It was fun. Feel good space.